Hey, this is Joe the HVAC Man, and I'm just here contemplating on spring coming up. Well, it's actually here right now. It's beautiful, and this is the time of year where we get out there and we start servicing the units. And one of the things that I found, even as I was servicing units back in the day, that we'd get out there, we'd clean them and put them, just clean the indoor coil, clean the outdoor coil, change the filter, and turn it on, and it's cooling, and boom, we're out of there. All right, but what we didn't really know is, was it really working correctly? Maybe we didn't even check that. So one thing I wanted to encourage you to do is, take the readings before and after you service it. That way you can have a comparison. Because if you show up to the job and it's low on refrigerant, but you don't know that, and then you check it prior to it, then you go, whoa, this thing's not cooling well. Maybe it just needs to be cleaned. So then you clean it and you can see that it didn't really change it any. Now you can go to the customer and say, okay, I've serviced it. I told you before we started that it looks low, but I wanted to clean it first to see if that was causing an issue like low airflow or, dirty coils, that kind of stuff. But you know what? It's still that way. Now we're going to have to add refrigerant to it like we previously discussed. That way you've prepped the customer on what needs to be done or that may need to be done once you get done, because that's one of the reasons you're there. You're there to investigate, to see how well the unit's looking. So do a good physical walk around. I've got this in my best practice maintenance training course. If you want to get in touch with me about it, I'd be glad to talk to you about that, webinar, on-site, whatever you want. But let me give you one little thing here that everybody wants to know, what pressures do I need? What's the pressure I need? What's my high side pressure? What's my low side pressure? Well, let me stop you there, okay? I can tell you, but before I tell you, I'll have to kill you. No, I'm just kidding. It's not about the pressure. It's about what temperature do you want the refrigerant to be, and then you can equate it to pressure. So, for instance, it doesn't matter whether you got 410A, R22, 454B, or R32. Yay, we got 4 refrigerants we're dealing with. All right, it doesn't matter. What you really want to know is what temperature should the refrigerant in the coil be at a given condition that it's in. So when it comes to 14 to 16 SEER equipment, you want the condenser saturated temperature to be about 20 degrees higher than the outdoor air temperature entering to the coil. So if it's 90 degrees outside, you want your condensing temperature to be about 110. Okay, this is clean. Okay, clean unit. And then you can equate that 110 to whatever refrigerant you got in there. So whatever 410A is at 110 degrees, whatever 454B is at 110, R32, it doesn't matter, okay? Now you can see what pressures you need to have. Now, that is on the high side. And on the low side, it's going to be anywhere from 35 to 40 degrees colder than the return air coming through the coil. So if your return air is 75 degrees, then you want it around 40 degrees evaporator temperature. You don't want it, you can get close to 35, but be careful, because if you get below that, you can start freezing. So really they want it somewhere closer to that 40. Not too much warmer than that, because then we don't remove the humidity and we don't remove enough heat. So there you go. Your temperatures are really what you're looking for, and then you can equate to pressure. So once you figure out where the evaporator coil ought to be, and remember, if it's hot and humid in the house, then that means your coil temperature is going to be warmer naturally, because it's taking in a lot of heat, which means your pressures are going to be higher. But the minute you get the house under control, then the pressures come down too. And this is true for any unit. It doesn't matter whether it's a 2-ton, 3-ton, 20-ton, 25-ton. DirectX, air going across that coil, that's the way it's going to work. So, and we're not talking about water-cooled condensers. This is all air-cooled stuff, okay? So just know that. Evaporator needs to be about 40 degrees cooler than the return air, then equate that to pressure. And then the condenser needs to be about 20 degrees hotter than your entering condenser air. If it's like a 20 SEER unit, then it's going to be about 10 degrees. I got a 20 SEER, and it runs 10 degrees higher than the outdoor air temperature. All right, so hopefully that'll help you. There you go. Straightforward, but be sure it's clean, 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 okay, and got good airflow. If you check it beforehand and it doesn't meet that criteria, clean it, make sure you got good airflow, and then recheck it. If that didn't get it where it needs to be, now you can go and see if you need to superheat it or subcool it and get it up and running again. All right, there you go. JoJo the HVAC Man. Take care, and hopefully that'll help you.